Yes, okay, so let's the answer that.
All right. Welcome to the greatest workshop we have. Because it's Pentesting. Nothing else. Kill the lights.
Which, where, how?
Oh my God. Actually, you know what? Kill the lights.
Figured it out. Set off.
Okay, so now we're in the correct environment.
Can they hear us?
Oh yeah, can you guys on Zoom hear me?
Yep.
I heard a faint yup. I'll take that as a yes from Zoom. So, has everyone checked in on the gigantic QR code you can see in front of you? If not, do so. I'm seeing people do it, so I'll wait. Do we have to?
As well.
It's gonna make me sound invisible.
Probably.
That's pretty good. People got it? All right, you want to explain how it works? Do it.
Explain HackTheBox.
Yeah, like machines. How do I
You're
get out of this
supposed to pull it
presentation?
up.
Here we go.
Show.
Home.
Okay. So we're going to be doing walkthroughs of a HackTheBox box called CAP, but just a little background of what HackTheBox is. It's a CTF slash hacking for fun website where they upload machines, challenges. They have some like DFIR challenges as well, and all scaling in difficulty. What are you doing?
I need this code.
We're going to be doing a machine, an easy machine called CAP, but just to do a little bit of hack the box, their starting point, which this is I guess where you start. These are very easy machines where they kind of walk you through some base concepts of penetration testing. I'll just do it quickly. There's season machines. These are active machines where you can compete with other hackers on the platform for prizes.
Basically, it's ranked.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just ranked mode. There's machines, active machines, which were past season machines, and some are current season machines. There's some retired machines, which there's usually four, right? Four free retired machines, and these have guided mode, which help guide you through the process of going from zero access to full root access or system access. And they also have either official write-ups or community approved write-ups for step-by-step, and usually they're very detailed of how everything worked for the box and how to go again from zero to root. And there's some challenges, which are basically just CTF challenges. Sherlock's, which are digital forensics. I think, yeah, they have some SOC challenges.
Yep.
Malware analysis. I suck at these.
They have network defense as well.
Network defense, yeah. And so we're going to be doing CAP, which is a machine, a retired machine.
And it's one you can do as well because it's
Yes.
free.
Yeah, this one's free.
So, does everyone have a HackTheBox account who wants to follow along? That's some of you. Does anybody not have an account that wants to? All right. Yeah, you can make one real quick. We've got time.
Yeah.
So,
Quick. Oh, show them how to join the team too.
oh yeah. So we actually have a team as well. which you can join. I'll share the link later, and we have some channels on Discord as well where you can discuss not box solutions because that's not really allowed, but tips and tricks, things like that.
You
Say
can
someone
for
needs retired ones you can, but when people get good enough for active machines, you're not supposed to share solutions. So what we do is if someone gets stuck, you ask for what's called a nudge. So you say anyone got a nudge for blank machine, and if someone's completed it, they'll ask you where are you and what have you tried, stuff like that. So
So for joining the team, you might actually have to search in the search bar for the team for the join link to actually pop up.
Yep.
And you might have to do it a few times. Not sure exactly why, but
yeah, sometimes the
Unfortunately.
join button doesn't show up and you have to refresh the page once, but it'll show up right around here. Oh, you did. Well, let's see it. Oh wow. Looks like people are here. I'll
just
accept
better.
these. I don't know how to minimize that.
Never mind.
I'll just accept these guys. The nice username. Wait a minute. There we go. Aren't you already?
No, it removes old account because it's an email he doesn't
You gotta be kidding me. Kick this place. Not make captain.
imagine.
Okay, there we go.
Alright. I'll do cap.
All right, so whoever didn't have an account, do you have one now, or are you in the process of making it? Yep, still making one. Another David.
No.
Also, did everyone who wants to follow along, everyone's got some virtual machine or they've got an account to try to log in. I'll show you how to get access to, you got 2 free hours of the VM that they give you. So we can access that
VIP
from,
plus.
what?
VIP plus.
No, that's an upgrade button.
Oh,
Yes, okay, so yeah. For those of you who want to join in and try for yourself, I like it the only one that shows up. So you're gonna want to search cap on the top. Like that. It'll show up right around here. For everyone who wants to follow along. Just like raise your hand and let me know if I ever start going too fast. So whoever wants to connect, you're gonna want to hit this button up here, connect to HTTP. And you're going to want to hit machines up here. Once you hit that, you're gonna get 2 options. You have a VPN connection and you have Pwnbox, which is basically their own VM that they provision for you. And free users get 2 hours of access, one per month. So you are kind of you're supposed to get your own eventually, but for now it works to be able to use it. So to those of you who don't have something like a Kali or Parrot virtual machine, you just click on Pwnbox and start it. Yep.
Like a real virtual machine.
Yeah. I can show you how to do that as well. So what
You
was
should
that?
have 2 hours each month on the phone box.
Yeah, the Pwnbox
Unless you
gives you 2
do-
hours. You have unlimited time on
yeah.
your own VM, of course.
Mhm.
Don't look at 24. I have a rank. Okay, so whoever needs Pwnbox can start it right there. It'll give you a link and it'll open it. Actually, I'll just start it right here so you can see. This will show on the side and you can connect to the machine once it starts. I actually don't know how long this takes to start.
Can be kind of slow.
I don't often use Pwnbox.
No.
I think I used it a few times. There you go.
Then you could just click in the top right or there.
Or you can
Also
click
works.
open desktop,
And it'll open a new tab.
and you've got a tab. This is the pawn box. Once you start it from the side over here, you can open desktop, and it should open up a new cloud thing where you can just kind of mess around. Yeah, there you go. That's your terminal for pawn box specifically.
And if you have like a VM or something, which
Yep. Okay, we're gonna get over that now. So everyone who wanted pawn box figured it out. Take that as a yes. Yes, it is just a customized because Parrot sponsors HackTheBox, so they give them kind of access to something like that. What was it?
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah, LibreOffice is free.
yeah, it is. So if you have your own Kali/Parrot machine, here's what you do. Instead of clicking Pwnbox, you go right above it and click Open VPN. Every Kali machine already has OpenVPN. You just need the file. So you hit OpenVPN, and it says connect to the VPN server. You're gonna want to click US free because you're probably on a free account. And whatever VPN server your heart desires, it doesn't really matter. Once you select that, you're gonna click TCP because UDP kind of sucks. You're gonna hit TCP and you're gonna hit click download VPN. And what's it's gonna do is gonna download a .ovpn file, which is a VPN configuration file. And you want to move that file to your virtual machine.
the server's online, offline coding there.
Which server?
On the root.
Click down.
What?
Click download.
Yeah.
It'll download to
Yeah.
your host machine. You can also, if your VM's configured not to allow you to drag files, and you can also just open this up on your VM and download it that way.
Yeah, you could just log in through it through your VM. Yep.
Yeah, server strong down a bit.
What? Try the other US. There's three of them. So one's down. I think US 3 1. You got your download. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it looks like lab 1 is down.
That 2 is down actually. That 1 is down.
2? Okay. So US free 2 is down. So don't pick that. Don't pick that one. Yeah.
1 and 3 or should be good. I was
So
using
1
3
and 1 and
earlier.
3. Okay.
I
I didn't even know the free ones could go down.
I don't either.
I mean, I don't know. I'm using the F2024. Yep, I'm gonna explain that right now. I need to switch myself back to my own VPN.
Do you have the VPN on your account?
Yeah, but I have to switch servers.
That's true.
Well, it's not gonna work. There we go. Okay. So once you've got your OVPN file, either on your host machine or on Kali or whatever, you're gonna want to have your the VM right here. And once it like opens, so I'm gonna start the machine once I connect to VPN. So this is the other one. I'm gonna like super zoom this so people can see. Show up. It does show up. Okay. Now, okay, so you're gonna want to open up a file manager or like it's the equivalent of Windows Explorer, but in Linux.
Search gets work.
What?
1 and 3 should be
1 and 3.
working.
US free 1, US
You
free
just
3.
continue.
Yeah, okay. So everyone who has a .ovpn file and wants to use it in their virtual machine should take it and just drag it. It won't work for me because I have a different way of doing it, but normal Kali instances should be able to do it normally just fine. Mine is not configured to allow that, but yours should be.
They're not ready to do that, so that's good. This is It's just we're just like loaded.
What was that?
No, that was.
There's a weird thing. We try to drag something, it gets faster, but it turns out it's not. Both times, right?
Where it was, because they're back in. Then your account has to pay. So it won't be. So they never actually gave us. Right. So.
I don't know. It's right.
Yes. A little. For. So I think it's actually. Yeah. It's actually.
I mean, yeah, it's.
Less.
That's using.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's a few things. Yeah, my work.
Then you can use like.
And that this one allows you to drive stuff back and forth. Here's a better idea. Log into HackTheBox on here. You don't need to worry about copying it back.
Yeah, this just happens. Pretty sure it's similar to what happened to you. Their box back end is kind of has.
That's true.
Where sometimes it'll start one, but it won't actually give you, yes, like the confirmation that you've gotten it, and then it will start it again.
I'm gonna try switching VPN servers on here.
Yeah, that shouldn't make a difference. Home box is clicking on the center.
It's because he's on USB too.
We tried that actually.
So yeah, go to OVPN, open VPN, and swap the server, and then the server carries over. So
what is the file again? Now we've got the.
you've got it in Kali, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. Now what you want to do, once you've got it in Kali, you want to run this command. Sudo open VPN and then the file. Yep, and you just want to keep that in the terminal and throw it to the side. That's what's going to connect you to the HackTheBox server and allow you to access the VM.
Yeah.
Yep, so they'll connect your machine to their network. So I have to remember which one it actually is. I believe it's this. Okay, I have the wrong one.
Anyone else have any block box station?
It's very common, unfortunately. Someone is.
They're sort of having time, so. No, it's yeah, this is. Yeah. So basically, this, when they open, you open it to a desktop, it's literally just. This picture, the one. I have no fucking clue why they do that. It is quite sure. I mean, you can use it through this.
Okay, don't worry about what I'm doing. I'm trying to get the same thing in a roundabout way. Yep. Rutgers allows you to host web servers. So I just hosted a Python web server and grabbed the file myself. That's the way I have to do it because this configuration of Kali does not allow you to drag stuff. So No, it's just because I felt like it. This is a specific build that people use for HackTheBox. Like exactly. So
And that's so proud to say Cali is like, that was like learning skills past that point from digits.
they're wrong.
But is it out?
Nobody in their right mind ditches Kali. Not because Kali's good, but because it just has a bunch of tools. Why waste time installing them yourself? Yep, you've got it, and then you gotta run this. This is what you gotta run. I hope you remember your password for your VM because it's gonna ask you. Yeah, perfect. Everyone uses Kali, which is perfect. No one's gonna steal your creds to your own machine. So for me, I'm gonna run. Yeah, for me, I'm gonna run it in the background with the ampersand. Yep. And once you run it, it should do a bunch of stuff. Or it won't work for me because I downloaded the wrong thing. I grabbed the wrong thing. All right. All right, and once you have successfully connected, you will see this. It'll be green up here. I don't know why it says 2 connections. It's just one. It just does that because it counts as a seasonal connection and a machine connection. So it just says 2. So anyone got the green light when they re-click this? Yep, okay, good. Once you do get that, you can go ahead and spawn the machine. So we want as many people as possible to get this green light over here once they click this. Yep. All right, let me try. Target IP address. Yep. That will be your. Thanks. You did, you got 1 minute. Yeah, okay. Okay. Text you on that. You just join the shooting. Yes, that's every other time. Okay. Good.
Yes. He changed the. He was not. Yes.
First time. And that that receive that one. Said also we don't want to connect. And I told me to run that PM. It said 1,000.
Guys, we're gonna get started. And mine's not started yet. Never mind, there it is. You can just click on it to copy the IP. A lot of people have got it, so I think people are catching up. They'll get there. And anyway, it's recorded. So we are going to get started for real now. Okay. So, what is everyone's opinion on the first thing to do when you've got an IP address? Good one, but that's part of something else. What's the overarching one? David knows it. What is it?
SSH.
No. What? No. It's four letters. You've got one IP. What do you do? In the back, hold on. Ping, good one. And you reach the machine. Yes. That is the perfect answer. It's another four-letter word. What do you do after that?
Damn.
Correct. So we want to scan it because we want to see what's going on with the IP. What is it running? What OS? Is it Linux? Is it Windows? I don't know. Well, okay, we know because it says it's Linux, but assume you don't know that. So how do we figure that out? The answer is Nmap. I forgot there was that much stuff, but that is the command we are going to use. This will scan an IP or domain name. Like, honestly, you could scan google.com. I don't recommend you do that because they can track you doing it. But this is what we do when we have an IP and we don't know whatever the hell is going on with it. First, we ping it, make sure it's alive. Then we scan it and figure out any ports that are open, what service is running. Is there a website? Is there something else? What's going on? We basically baseline what to think about. So, how do we scan it? We use Nmap and the IP. The most simple scan. And what do we see? Yep. Got SSH, got FTP, and we've got HTTP. So do people know what port 80 is? Well, you will in a second. It's a website usually. So it's an HTTP website. Yep. Control C. Anything that started go crazy, just Control C it. It'll cancel. Sends an interrupt. Yep. What was it? Okay, let's see.
It's not the same. On, you have to use the bathroom, sorry. That's the new one. The most. Like you just small one. These looks great, it's really customized, but it functions that. All that. There's so much control. What else fast? No, I don't know. People must be. And Sony need. What is it? Yeah. What? Oh, yeah. So it just stands out what ports are open, so what we see here is that they reach the guard while transfer protocol is they to secure challenge something from one and HTTP is for web. So it's the answer. These information about the host and what ports are open and closed. And so seeing what ports open means you can interact with it. So we're going to use that in Big to try to remove the machine and get out.
Okay, so next, now that we know what ports are open, we want to figure out what's on them or what versions of these services are there. So if you hit your up arrow, it'll go back to the previous command. And we want to pass a flag to Nmap. To say it says it's HTTP, which means there's a website running. But what version of, I don't know, Nginx, Apache, what's it running on? How do we find that? Version detection. That will be the flag you use, -s, capital V. So this runs a script alongside Nmap to detect what version of service it finds. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But when it works, it's pretty useful. It will take a little longer though.
We should say again what this SV do.
So it queries the service and tries to find out what version it is. Say if it's an outdated version, you could search that up online and possibly find an exploit.
Here, while we're waiting for it to scan, we will give an overview of why we're using Nmap here, like what purpose does it have for the sake of Pentesting?
I think I already said that, but I'll say it again.
Oh, okay.
So scanning is pretty much the first big deal in what you need to do, because you need to find out where you are on the network and what entry points can you see. Like, where can I attack? You can't really attack a machine just blindly, because what are you going to do? You don't know what it's running. If is there a website? You don't really know. So you got to find out what ports are open, if there are any. Sometimes there are just no ports open, which kind of sucks. But if there are, there's probably some way to get in. So now that we've got 3 things listed, there's a whole host of things we can do with just these 3. So
It's all closed off, like no ports open.
if there's no ports open, nobody outside can access the machine. So I mean, technically, you're 100% safe. Well, no, you can access stuff. That your ports are closed, meaning no one outside can access you, but you can access anything else. So you think you're 100% safe, or you could get a suspicious email and they can just open your port for you. Yep. So there are ways to create the open port, but we're not going up. We don't need to do that here. Yeah, exactly. I don't know how long this is taking.
That's the key. It's
It'd take us longer.
happens like with this article sometimes.
66% done, 50 seconds. Oh, I didn't realize it was this slow.
My regular and every loader the first place.
I mean, we can try to, yeah, any key will show the status of the scan, or you could make it verbose, but we don't need to do that here. Let's see if this is faster. I don't actually know.
I'm sorry, that's maybe the update forever. So there we go.
Yep. Yeah. Pretty much any key will show you some kind of status and be like, how long will it take to find? Something like that. Timer seems to be going up, right? Yeah, I could see that too. So I'll see if that's actually a problem with it or it's doing something else. Just in case that makes it go faster, I want to see if the scan actually works. Yeah, but all right, so we have 3 services. Which one do you say we check first? All good answers. Literally any of them. You could pick any of them. So what we will try first is so we're gonna try SSH because there's a chance that we can just log in as admin. And we may as well take that chance. Because as a pen tester, what you're trying to do is find every single vulnerability. So if there's the slightest chance that they have no password as admin, you have to take it. So we could try it. We know it's Linux, so admin will be root. I mean, it's worth a shot, right? It's H. I don't know what it looks a little weird, but this is SSH. So you use root at the IP. And if any of you are like CS majors and you've ever logged into iLab, it's the same thing. The username at the computer. Yes, looks like there's a password. Root. Nope. Guess it's not there. But it's always a good try because there's always that one chance that is there. Because you would not believe how many times you dodge the low-hanging fruit and then that ends up being the answer. I think this scan is just not going on. Actually, never mind, it is. I wonder why. Whatever. We can ignore the scan for now. We know what services are there. We don't need the versions right now. Oh wow. Yeah, you can ignore the whole SSH thing. It's not gonna work. Most of the time it's not gonna work. It's more of a we have to test it. So if your scan did complete, which could take forever, we could see versions, pretty much everything. And here we've already got something. We knew it was Linux from the name of the box, but if we didn't know that, now we do. And not just that, we know it's Ubuntu. Things like this, you can search up online, is 8.2 P1 vulnerable? In this case, no, it's not. But here too, is it vulnerable? In this case, no, it's not. But it's good to know. Occasionally you'll see something here. And if this was a different version, say it was like 1.3 or something, and you look online and people are going crazy, oh man, 1.3 got hacked. It's a good chance you can get in that way too. So what we want to check though is the website. So that or I just froze my VM, I don't know. Definitely froze it. I will restart now. Yeah, that can happen. So yeah, don't use a weird minimal installation like I am because if you start messing around too fast, it will freeze. and it will not be very happy with what you're doing. But it's a good thing Kali restarts really quickly. So we're going to go over the website, but say you opened up Firefox and tried to enter the IP, right? HTTP:// the IP. That's usually how you would check 480. That's how you would access the website. And you might notice if you try that, it doesn't work. Let's go there and do it. Oh, yeah, for people who don't know, people who didn't like show up late.
In general. You just have to think why we're here now.
Well, the first thing we did was check if the machine is alive. Once we do the VPN. So, I mean, it's perfect that mine crashed because now I can do this again. So that joins your VPN, allows you to access the IP that they give you. Otherwise, if you were to scan that same IP, I think it was 10.10.10.245 or something, pretty much it would resolve to like nothing, or some other person's IP. So please don't scan it if you're not sure you're connected, because it might lead to someone else's computer. And if someone else has some kind of system tracking who's scanning who, they're gonna get really weirded out. We don't want any of that confusion. Okay, here we are at Firefox. So, have any of you tried to access the website? And what did it say? What?
Just put in the IP browser to get like a security dashboard. Which just has security events, failed popular attempts, or scams, maybe, and like play the guy's name.
Yep, let's see it. Here we are. So this is the website that's running. This is what is running on that port 80. Bigger. Let me see if I remember the things. There's a certain command for it. Yeah, this one is. And then this one down. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's all you need to see on the website anyway. Yep, you just throw in the IP.
With HTTP before, because you want to resolve to port 80, and HTTP just tells your browser that it wants to resolve port 80.
Yep, that would be the best way to do it. Or you could just put the IP in there because it will assume you're going to port 80. Like I did, I just tossed the IP in there.
Yeah.
So usually it'll do that, but
It doesn't work with
normally,
it.
yeah, normally you would not want to take chances. So we've got a website. Got a few things in the website. Got IP config. So all these things are running commands on the box. So you might think, what can you do? It says IP here. IP is a command, but it's not giving you any flags. So there's a good chance we can't try to write any commands in here, because IP would give you this answer, and here we're getting this. You guys kind of got that? See how that's kind of one way of thinking closed? Like there's no way we could write something like that and have it work. Nope. Also this one, something showing network connections. That's interesting. Nothing really good in here. But there's one other thing that's interesting. There's a click that gives you a security snapshot. Does anyone know what a PCAP is? is a network capture of packets. Does anyone know what packets are? Yes, there you go. Perfect. So it captures 5 seconds of all packets around and dumps it as a file. That's it. Surely there's no vulnerability there. Well, there is. From what we see right now, can anyone guess what the vulnerability here is? There is a download button. Let's see what it downloads. Downloads a PCAP. Interesting. Let's check it out. I don't think we need this. No, that has a job. It's gonna get really crowded if I open Wireshark. Yeah. So to examine a PCAP file, you're gonna want a utility called Wireshark. Anyone recognize the name? Yep. So we don't want to clutter our screen right now. So we're gonna use a different one, which does the same thing,
It's also,
but in the command line. What?
it's also owned by Wireshark.
I think Wireshark does
I
own
think
it.
it's just there's
Yeah, there's a command line usage of Wireshark called Tshark, which is this. Okay, well, I don't want to run it like that.
stash off.
Yeah. So if you try to run this and it says you don't have it, just install it. It'll give you the command to install it. It's a quick install. So yes, it is owned by Wireshark. So we want to look through here and we want to see, well, which thing takes in a PCAP file and allows us to check out what's going on. Let's look for it. What was it? R? Yeah, -R. So Tshark, lowercase r, 1.pcap. So that's the security snapshot we just took. Enter, nothing, because the file is empty. If you saw over here, the number of packets it found was a grand total of 0. So there goes that, but it was a good effort. What else do you think?
Should close this so that gets bigger.
I don't actually know how to close this. Alright, it's fun. So, anyone got another idea? Just checking the link, the user. What do you think?
Mhm.
Yep. Did anyone notice that we happen to be logged in already? So who's Nathan? Is the question here. So when we run a snapshot, how much time do we have left? 20 minutes, okay.
Low ones probably, so maybe just
Yeah.
give a big hint.
Yeah. So what can you notice about this link? Well,
Yes,
in a way,
but why?
which part?
Yep.
The ID, which
Yes.
means for.
Different ID. Isn't that weird? I wonder if you can access other people's snapshots. Well, 2. Nope. No 2. 0. Isn't that weird?
And just for reference, this vulnerability is called an IDOR. It's a indirect object reference. It's basically when the developer has some usually sensitive material hidden behind an ID, which you're able to directly change and then access sensitive material, or at least material that the developer did not intend you to be able to reference.
I believe your uncle talked about idols, right?
I have no idea.
He said something about that, and I thought that was entertaining. So now we've got 72 packets. Something's got to be in here. So let's download it. Looks like we can grab it. I'm just gonna go to the other one that I already have. Okay. So this will be the command you run on, this time it's zero.pcap. It seems like it's the ID and then file extension. So we want to know what's going on and kaboom, a lot of stuff. So this is showing you all, as you can see, 72 packets, 72 lines. Every single packet and all of its details. However, if you're just looking at this, it does look like a bunch of nonsense. So let's filter it. Given the fact, there's the
So while you're doing this real quick, when you're looking at the T-Shark output, you can notice that there's FTP, which is also a service that was being run. This is just this is packets recording from a T-Shark a FTP authentication. So if you were to look at this through Wireshark, which would probably make it a bit easier to read, or through T-Shark, you can see the request and response from the client to server requesting, and also activity on the FTP connection. So you can see there's a retrieving notes.txt.
someone tried to receive a notes.txt. Usually that would be grounds for investigation.
Yeah.
So the thing you want to kind of think of here is you're seeing a lot of FTP. And we know that's on the box from the Nmap scan. So how do we refine the search and take out all the nonsense and only keep FTP to see, has anyone been logging in? What do you think?
Then Joey.
Mhm.
GREP is a good one. Like this. Using a pipe, this. I believe it's your shift backslash should be your pipe. And then grep, which is to search. Well, a simple form of naming it, but you want to find things that say FTP. Pretty good. There's another way to do it. With T-Shark itself, you can do it. With, is it R to read the file?
Yep.
So that will spit out all the nonsense. And we want only FTP. Dash capital O filters by protocol. So you can say SSH, HTTP, and FTP. This is a bit of a worse way of writing it, but it will show you everything that's going on with FTP specifically because it'll filter it for you. So as you're looking through, what you kind of want to think of is Nathan. There's a good chance he's doing something here because we're the only one logged in. Found something?
I found his password.
Yep.
Nice, nice.
FTP is not very safe. So if you take a security snapshot of someone logging into FTP, the password is just right there.
Right.
Yep. Yep, you see here, login successful, and you look above, someone's running a pass command and passing this. Looks like a password to me. So we want to copy that, Control Shift C. And if you look a little bit higher, they're passing the user Nathan. Now, how can we get on the machine if we know a username and password? Try it out. SSH, Nathan. Let me write it up here.
Buck. But it's basically bucket hat forms, but in like lead speak.
Yeah. But it's in lead speak,
Yeah, I
of
don't know
course.
Whoever that is blocked, then
why.
You'll find a lot of weird passwords as you go through. It's pretty great. So, as you do that, I'll explain something. On HackTheBox, there are two levels of owning a machine. First is user, second is root. Usually what will happen is there's some way to get initial access onto the machine, like this, and that's a simple SSH somewhere. And there'll be this file, user.txt. You're going to want to print that copy it, and that is your user flag. You're going to put this right here and submit. If it's an active machine, this would give you some points. And in your activity, it will show that somebody owned that flag. And it will be loaded onto your profile.
And then the team points.
It will give you team points. I mean, I can't add it because I already beat this machine. Yep.
While you're in the.
Once you get somewhere, there will always be a user.txt somewhere, and there will always be a root.txt. Those are your constants, and it also allows you to kind of game the system sometimes. Well, you can't access it just like that. Yes, there is a chance you could find it. Or yep, let's find it out. Oh. 5.4. That's the kernel version. Technically, it could be vulnerable to dirty cow. Yeah, but here's a bit of a lesson. On a real pen test, you will never, never try a kernel exploit unless you directly contact who you're doing the pen test on and ask them, is it okay? Because if you do a kernel exploit and it fails, you may have to restart the whole machine. And if that machine is some kind of like a domain administrator or something like that, you're gonna have a real big problem and you're gonna cost your client money. So very good idea on a on a gamified thing. Perfect, dirty cat, that works.
Well, it might work.
It won't work here, just saying. It's a good idea, but it is actually patched to dirty cow, even though the kernel is the right level. They put in their own patch for it, specifically so you don't do it. They knew. So, we're on a new Linux machine. We don't know anything about it besides its kernel. What can you do to kind of figure out what's going on with it? There is a script online that will search for these things for you. It is called linpeas. I believe this is part of a yeah, it's part of another thing called P's and G. P's meaning privilege escalation awesome superscript. I don't know why they named it that, but that's its name.
I'm impressed you remember that.
I do remember that. So you're going to want to grab this. I gotta find where it is.
They also have WinPs, which is just the Windows variant.
Let's just download it. Still just download it. Okay, so
Yeah, you could just go to.
yeah, but I want them to be able to access it themselves. Here we go. So is everyone able to find this? Or even just find this? It'll be on GitHub. Search for this. Anybody find it? See, for me, this is a HackTheBox specific machine. So when I run linpeas, it just grabs the file for me. That's more for speed, but you don't really need it. Oh, it's Awesome Script Suite. New generation. Forgot about that.
Let's see.
Yep. So going to run. Oh, they do.
Use W.
So you're gonna run this in your terminal, which is to grab this. So you could run it from here, or you can just directly grab it. But keep in mind, sometimes the boxes don't have internet access. So you can't just grab the file willy-nilly. In this case, no. That's a no. So it can't find GitHub, but we can grab it. So once we have it, we can transfer it. Anyone know how to transfer files back and forth? a good one. SCP works, it does work. Although I hate SCP, so we're not going to do that. Instead, we're going to start our own web server and download it from there. So you're going to want an IP AS. Or honestly, just IP.
You can do IP doesn't work. You just like it.
IPA. And you're going to see this interface. Each interface will pretty much give you an IP, usually, depending on what it's for. But you're going to see a new one when we ran that OpenVPN script. We gave ourselves a new interface called the TUNTAP. So in this case, it's showing us our third one, TUN0, and it's giving us this IP. IP space A. A. And so this is our IP when we're connected to HackTheBox. On their servers, this is us. So all of the boxes can access our IP. If you remember, we pinged it last time, so we know we can access it. So we're going to run our own. This is what we're going to run. Python 3-m http.server and run it on port 80. So this runs a web server that lists all the files in your current directory. You might be able to see where this is going. So it's serving HTTP, and we know our IP is this. Yours will be different, obviously. But we can grab. Let me clear it, make sure it's better visible. So we can pretty much grab the exact file we want because it's on the web server now. Considering we're hosting this web server, everything here is available for download. So this is kind of the best way to transfer stuff back and forth. SCP does work, but it's a long, convoluted command. Outside of anything personal I have with it. So that grabbed it because obviously it has access to our own computer. Otherwise, we would never have been able to get on. So we've got linpiece. So let's run it. Permission denied. Isn't that weird? It's because if we look at its permissions, there is no execute. Anyone know the command to assign a permission to a Linux file? Got it. chmod +x. This adds the execute permission, so you can run it. And if you look now, the X has been added, and we can now run the most output heavy script in the world. Very happy face. So, as you can see, there's an advisory. Because this is an extraordinarily loud script, it will set off every single alert in the book. Don't use this without permission, as is obvious. So only authorized pen testing should be used here. And this is the legend. Very good to know. If something is highlighted in yellow and it's red inside, there's a 95% chance there's a way to get to root or escalate your privileges with it. Red, you should take a look at it. Things like weird permissions, files that shouldn't be there, everything you can check. And then the rest is kind of irrelevant. So you have to be really patient when you use linpiece because this takes forever. And it throws out a gigantic amount of stuff.
I think dirty cat.
It probably is. It gives you 100, kernel vulnerabilities and none of them work.
It's not actually.
Yeah, dirty cow's not on here. Things like antivirus for Linux, AppArmor, confining of services, stuff not on, all that stuff. So you can see any defenses, things like that. Is anything watching you? That's called situational awareness. And that is actually tested on things like certifications. You'll see one of their skills is situational awareness. Can you detect that someone's looking for you? Can you see there's some kind of antivirus going on. How do you find it out? And not find out by getting burned. Not that type of find out. All the things that are being run, this is obviously us running that. Nothing going on. Nothing yellow yet. So I'd say the first skim you should do of LinP's output is find something that's 95%, because if there is something that high, you could probably get yourself to root almost immediately. Everything red. Oh, actually, here's one thing we could look at. In the SSH config, it allows you to log in as root. Bad. We won't be exploiting that here. In fact, it's not really an exploit, but it's bad security practice. And in competitions like CCDC, we want to turn this off. We do not want people, because what if they get your root password, we have a big problem. So we'd like them to just not log in as root just like that. And scroll down some more red. Uh-huh. That's interesting. We've got a 95% vector here. And anybody know what Linux capabilities are? All right. It is the ability for a process to give you either privileges, in this case, or do other actions upon usage. In this case, the one we're interested in is cap.setUID. Cap meaning capability, setUID meaning set your user ID. Can anyone see why that's a problem? Because you can set yourself. Yes. So we see Python 3.8 has it. So we can kind of ignore the rest, because we already see an easy way of getting root. So, anybody know how to set ourselves as root? That's normal, but not through Python. We got to do this the Python way. I wish that would work, but no. We know specifically Python 3.8. 3.8 is the one that's vulnerable. Because if you were to use Python 3, it will work because there's both versions here. I don't know why they put both versions, but it will default to, yeah, it would default to 3.8. Wait, they must have updated it. The last time I did this way back when, they had Python normal 3, like a downgraded version that didn't have the capability. So if you tried using Python 3, it would actually throw you into a rabbit hole. So check which one you're running. Because they are different binaries. So the Python 3 will still not work, even though it's using Python 3.8. So we're in Python 3.8 specifically. And well, we can do whatever, right? Print. You can run Python commands. It's all good. But how do we set ourselves as root? Any imports maybe?
Yes.
All right, import OS. OS is a module in Python that has a few commands that can run on the host system. Like this. This is a command. As you can see, it ran the command. So os.system is a function in Python to run a command. First of all, that's not safe at all. So you probably don't want anyone to be able to import OS in the first place. But even worse, you don't want them to be able to set themselves as root and also run commands, because that's even worse. But how do we set ourselves as root? Clear will not work. I don't know why I did that. But how do we set ourselves as root? Nope. Python has its own way of setting you as a different user, and it's the function in OS called setUID. Yeah, it's not special. It's just straight up. It's actually just but what UID is root? Correct. Run os.set UID 0, and we don't know if it worked, did it? How do we know? Well, there's a few ways of checking. What?
I say eraser.
That was just me. What's something you'd be able to do specifically on HackTheBox? What would you be able to do if you were root? You'd find the system flag, right? Because we know another good one, because we know where the system file is. We know it's always at /root/root.txt. It's always there. So if we have root privileges, we know where the file is.
You would also be able to run the system command to see like who your user is with whoever.
Oh, yeah, here you go.
Or you could do ID to see what privileges your current, in this case, the Python is running as.
Our UID is now 0. We are functionally root. Our groups are still Nathan because we didn't set that. But the UID is already enough to destroy this machine. So we could just do this. I'm going to tell you a few ways. This is a much more fun way, I'm not going to lie. No, you actually can't.
No.
You could just run a cat command and do it.
Okay.
Or you could just open the file for reading with Python. Or you could run a reverse shell, which we're going to do right after this. So we can just open it as a file. I wrote that wrong. So we have access. But that's not very it's not very cool, is it? We just printed a file. So let's do it another way. Get out of Python 3 and we go online and we go to something called revshells.com. You will notice that we use this website all the time because it's great. Remember IP from before? IPA. You want to throw your IP in here, leave the port as is, and you want to scroll down here and you want to look. Which one says Python? Here's one. Python 3. This one's in a shell. We don't really need this. But this one uses the command. Why don't we switch the shell? Make it better. And then copy it. So the way in this case, how reverse shells work is when you run this command right here, it tries to spawn a shell and send that shell to someone else. We need to listen for that shell. So we open our own port and grab it. So you copy this command up here, go back into your own machine, and run it. And you see it's listening. That is your listener starting. Now you grab this command.
If
Now, why won't this work? This will not give you a root shell. Why do you think? Check over the command. You see anything different? Which version of Python is it using? You copied it and it says 3. One more thing missing. There's no set UID. It's not setting ourselves to root. So we modify it ourselves. Go right to the beginning and we say, we know 3.8 has the capability, so 0.8. This is running all of it. It's importing socket, subprocess, and it's already importing OS for us. So let's just insert the command right there. os.setuid 0 colon semicolon. Just right in there. And enter. Isn't that weird? So we can see who we are now. And we are not just the user ID root now. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's because reverse shell like that. Yeah, that's why. So your groups stay the same, which doesn't really matter because you have all the permissions of the root user, which means we can go to root. And there's a nice file for us right here. When we cat this file, we have the system flag, which you can toss in here and get your nice reputation. And that is the full cat machine, fully rooted. Any questions?
The record is perfectly okay if you guys want it to follow completely.
Yeah.
It's a tough thing to get your hands on, and it's just the more exposure, the more you see it, the better you get with it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, don't think I started and like was able to hack this like first
Yeah.
try back then. No.
try to think about like what you know here that you can previously time. Like, we had the networking workshop and we talked about services and we saw the reason we were able to put the first person credentials is FTP. If you remember from the networking workshop, FTP is the one point. Or yeah, so just try to tie things together, and the recording will eventually be posted and plan on our HackTheBox those machines that have guided walkthroughs.
Yep.
And, you know, you can take it at your own pace.
All right. Goodbye, Zoom people.